Hello and welcome to another episode of Ken Training, where we want to give you, the YouTube audience, the training that you need to tackle projects like this one on your own. Today's project is going to be cleaning the heat sensor of this pane furnace that's right here to the side of me. So as part of preventive maintenance, when you have a natural gas furnace, you're going to have a heat sensor on these modern furnaces that have glow plugs. With the standing pilots, they're known as thermocouples, but on these systems that have the glow plugs and a non-standing pilot, they use a heat sensor. And every year you should clean the heat sensor just to make sure that it doesn't have any debris or rust spots and whatnot that are going to hinder that signal telling the gas valve that the flame is actually on and the unit is operating safely. Apparently, you got to be somewhat gentle with these heat sensors because the oils of your fingers and things of this nature can disrupt it. And you don't want to be too harsh that you're using. Some people could use like emery cloth. I hear all different types. I've seen a guy on YouTube clean it with a utility knife. My method of cleaning it today is going to be with this brass brush. So this is a brass bristled brush, and brass is softer than steel, so it should not harm the heat sensor in any way. I'm going to not put my fingers on it because I don't want to get any oils from my fingers on the heat sensor. And I just simply want to clean it and then just use a paper towel in order to wipe any residue off and make sure that it's nice and clean, and then put it back into the furnace. It's held in by 1/4 inch hex head screw. Let me show it to you right now. We'll extract it and we'll clean it. Okay, so the heat sensor is located, you can just see the bottom tail of it right there where I'm kind of pointing. So I know it's a little dark in there, but this is that hex head right there. So I'm just going to get my screw, my tool on this right there, and I'm just going to go ahead and extract the heat sensor. All right, so this is the heat sensor, and there is carbon buildup on the heat sensor. I'm going to take my brass bristled brush here, and I am going to go ahead and hold that, and I'm just going to clean all the way around this sensor. And this should be done just once a year as part of the preventive maintenance, just to make sure that you have a nice flame sensor. Now, before I touched this, I ran the furnace. The furnace ran fine. I'm going to reinstall this, and then I'm going to test the furnace again to make sure that it's making good contact with the flame and that it is making sure that the gas valve comes on. So we'll start it up as soon as we put it in. So this is nice and clean now. Probably don't even need to do it, but I have a white paper towel here, and I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that down. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this back into the furnace. Okay, here is the flame sensor back inside of the furnace, held in. It's in I got the hex head screw in there tight. The way that the sensor is located is just pointed not directly in the flame path. It's a little bit at the bottom, but that is still catching the flame before, and it worked fine. And we're going to go ahead and run the furnace right now. Okay, so we're back at the thermostat. I'm going to go ahead and set the heat off cool setting to heat. It's set at 81 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's currently 77. So the furnace is going to kick on. Let's go watch the furnace. Okay, so now as a standard normal furnace sequence of operation, the first device that comes on is the inducer fan motor. The inducer fan motor is going to stay on for a certain time delay in an effort to make sure that the products of combustion are completely vented up. There we go. There's our gas. Ah, boy, I just couldn't get down here fast enough. Okay, the furnace fired right up. Everything is fine. You can see the heat sensor right there. It's just off to the bottom side of that burner, and we're perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and shut the furnace off. Alright, my associate is going to shut the furnace off and we'll see the furnace shut down. Go ahead and kill the T-stat. Alright, did you guys see that? First thing that happened was the burner flame shut off, which means that the natural gas valve, the valve right here, shut off, shutting off the flame here. The blower motor is still on because the way that the furnace works is that it keeps that blower motor on until the heat exchanger reaches a certain temperature. Also, the inducer fan motor, looks like that shut off at the same time as the furnace. This is just winding down. So the inducer fan motor shuts off at the same time that the burner shut off. It just has like a flywheel on it to allow it to coast down slowly. The blower motor is still on, and once it reaches a certain temperature, that will shut off. That is how you clean the heat sensor of a non-standing pilot furnace, which is what we're dealing with right here. If you got any value out of this video whatsoever, hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel, Ken Training. I will catch you on the flip side.